I used to say, like you said, vulnerability is a strength.
Yeah.
I've stopped viewing it as a strength. I've started viewing it as a connecting tool. I
Ooh.
think that if you're strong enough, if you are a man who is strong, then you're strong enough to admit where you're weak. And the ability to do that allows you to connect with others. They can better connect with you because they can see this man is so strong. He can show me where I can hurt him, knowing that he can take whatever hurt that I can deliver. And so that's how I'm actually going to write a longer piece on this because it's a little complicated and nuanced, and only people like us who are into this type of stuff are really going to dive that deep. But looking at this,
Right, exactly.
you know, the ability, like for me, sobriety, by admitting that I had to give up alcohol,
Right.
that was me being vulnerable because I was telling people, not only am I addicted to this, but I can't overcome it. That's a weakness. That's weak. That's not a strength. But my ability to share that publicly, knowing full well who I was, what I stood for, and the ground that I was standing on, I knew by putting this out publicly, I was being vulnerable. Other people could relate. Oh, shoot, I struggle with that too. I struggle. Maybe for them, it's drugs, maybe it's pills, whatever. Maybe it's like me, it was booze. I have that too, but I'm afraid to tell anybody that. So here, this guy is telling them, why can he do it, but I can't? And all of a sudden, they start to have this discussion. I get a lot of DMs. I got a DM this morning. Hey, man, I appreciate you standing up to Big Booze. I've been having a hard time with this. What? And I don't remember the question. It's something along the lines of like, what's your first step to making it permanent, or something like that. Mm-hmm. I get these DMs all the time because now men were able to connect with me because I was able to show that weakness, and they felt comfortable enough to reaching out and saying, how can I do what you're doing? They're not strong enough yet to do it on their own publicly. I am. And so that's how I can use myself as the example to help them reach that level. And so it's not that the vulnerability is the strength. It's that that's how you're connecting with people.
I really like that
kind of
approach that you do, connection and to share pain with everyone. And that's what pain should be used for, not in a comparison, but as a connecting tool. I like that.
I kind of nerd out Lord of the Rings. Smaug, he's the big dragon. He was missing a scale. To be him and to show the whole world, hey, dudes, I got a scale missing. If you hit this, I die. But guess what? You're not going to hit it because I'm that hardcore. I'm going to keep flying around and do my thing. To be strong enough to admit this is where you can hurt me and still not be afraid of it. And ultimately it did kill him, but Smaug had issues. Probably dad issues. Dad wasn't around, so we got that to deal with. But looking at that, I kind of look at that as the way to go about it. Like, hey, here's my missing scales, but you know what? I'm hardening them. So there's a gap there, but I'm building strength around it so much that the scales around it shrink it. And so for my booze, you can't hurt me because I'm so comfortable with who I am and the way I live my life that even though you can say, you can't drink, you were an addict. Yeah, that doesn't faze me at all. Because look in spite of that challenge, here I am succeeding.
Yeah.
And so that's how I've lived my whole life, man. Every obstacle has become an opportunity to show, what else can you throw my way? I've beaten every statistic thus far. I'm not going to stop now.
And that's what I love. I love it. And again, that's what people get messed up in statistics. They're like, well, statistically, you're more like this. It's like, you realize that's just an average to show how hard it is to overcome an addiction. I work with people with addictions all day long, and it's a constant struggle. Constant. Where a lot of them, they know they can't take another sip. And so some of them have to attend AA meetings literally like every single day. And I'm like, good. If that helps you, you go do that. Because then again, you're being formed in the connection of other people who are doing the exact same thing of maintaining their sobriety, taking care of themselves, having a sponsor, and doing all these different variables that they need to do to keep themselves safe and clean.
And it's a place where they can connect. We're talking about community before.
Yeah.
And you're saying, hey, a lot of statistics are the average. Again, it's not the fraternity of average.
Right.
It's not the family average. It's the family alpha. It's the leader. It's the fraternity of excellence, being excellent. So for every man, it's, look, you don't want to be average. So stop trying to act like the statistic says you should act. Be better than that. And I know it comes across as like that, bro, be tougher. Don't be weak. But honestly, it's just, I'm being honest. You have to be stronger than the weakest thing that's calling to you. I had to be stronger than booze and my peer group. I had to be stronger than any sort of societal influence.